ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here in the purport, Prabhupada describes some very important understandings which only devotees can understand. Non-devotees, impersonalists, they will not be able to understand. The realization which Kardama Muni is having is possible only through devotional service. So what did he see when he became liberated from conditioned life and he became situated in devotional service of the Supreme Lord? Atmanam sarvabhuteshu. The Supreme Lord as Paramatma is seated in the heart of all living entities. The super soul of all living entities, Atmanam Sarvabhuteshu Bhagavantam Avasthitam. He is situated in all living entities. Apashyat Sarvabhutani Bhagavati Api Chatmani. And he also sees everyone is existing on the Supreme Lord because he is the super soul of everyone. This is a very important understanding. Not only the Supreme Lord enters into everyone's heart, he is existing in everyone's heart. Everything is existing on him. This is materially inconceivable, very difficult to understand. Just like recently when I was preparing for that Krishna Katha classes, I was reading about the Lord shows to Mother Yashoda universal form, complete material creation in his mouth. And in the same mouth, Yashodama is able to see herself holding Krishna also. You see? Actually, Yashodama is sitting outside. She is perceiving in the mouth of the Lord, but she is able to see that even she is existing in the mouth of the Lord, and she is also holding the Supreme Lord. Very inconceivable to understand all these things. That is why in Vedic literatures it is said, Atha Shri Krishna namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai. By these material senses, it is not possible to understand the different aspects of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Atah Shri Krishna, Naam, the name of the Lord. Adi means like form, name, pastimes. All these things cannot be understood through these material senses. In fact, that is one of the important reasons. One of the names of the Lord is Adhokshaja, Adhakrit Jnanam, meaning any kind of knowledge which is acquired by these material senses, the mind, the intelligence, they are unable to reach the Supreme Lord. They are defeated. Adhokrit Jnanam. The knowledge is completely defeated in understanding the Supreme Lord. So, actually, if we want to understand Krishna, then it is possible only through devotional service. That is the meaning. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indre sevon mukhehi jivahado swayam eva hi spuruti adaha. But somehow or other, if we engage our senses in devotional service, swayam eva hi spuruti adaha, the Supreme Lord will become manifest before us directly. Then we can perceive Him, then we can understand Him. Otherwise, very difficult. And even in devotional service, first of all, Krishna can be understood only through devotional service. But even in devotional service, only the topmost devotee, Uttamadhikari, one who has reached the perfection of devotional service, can actually understand about this truth of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, which is otherwise very difficult to understand. Just try to understand the understanding of the topmost devotee. In our Kanishtha stage, in our neophyte stage, actually we are very narrow-minded. Our consciousness is not very widened. Those whose consciousness is, completely widened up to the point of understanding the Supreme Lord, they are actually called as Mahatmas. So, when we are in the neophyte stage, our perceptions are very narrow. It is explained in the Vedic literatures, a neophyte only can understand God in the temple. Beyond that, he does not have much perception. Such a devotee you will find, he very nicely worships the Lord in the temple, but when it comes to dealing with the devotees, when it comes to dealing with people, he is not very good at that. You may find him that he is worshipping the Lord, he is chanting the holy name, everything. But when it comes to dealing with people, when it comes to dealing with other devotees, he is not very good at that. He does not understand. So, he is in a neophyte stage. He cannot understand that actually every body is also a temple. See, just like we worship the Lord in the temple, and if we understand that actually in every body the Lord is also residing, then that body is also a temple in that sense. So that understanding is possible only for a Mahatma. When one comes to the stage of very advanced devotional service, then he understands These truths. That is stated in Brahma Samhita. How this is possible? Only through prema. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santah sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Only when one has anointed his eyes with ointment of pure love of Godhead, then it is possible that everywhere one can see only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he understands. Neophyte understanding is God is only in the temple. Advanced devotee understanding is God is there in the temple and He is in everyone's heart also. Impersonalist understanding is completely misguided, misunderstood. He says God is everywhere but not in the temple. Theirs is still more foolish understanding. A neophyte devotee is far, far better than these kind of impersonalists. So they propagate, why do you go to the temple? Don't you see that God is present everywhere? So they think God is present everywhere, but still there is a misunderstanding. They think the form of the soul is the same as the form of God. So they are thinking, because the living entities are present everywhere, and living entity is nothing but God, Aham Brahmasmi. So in that sense they are thinking God is present everywhere. And that is how they address each other as Narayana. And that is how they say, this is a Daridra Narayana, this is goat Narayana. This is their misunderstanding. So, when a pure devotee is seeing God everywhere, it is not in the terms of how Mayavadi sees. Mayavadi also sees God is present everywhere in the form of Brahman. But a pure devotee understands God is present in the feature of his Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna says that I am seated as Paramatma in everyone's heart. So, this understanding that the Supreme Lord is present in every living entity's heart, this is in a very advanced stage. In neophyte stage, he understands, he differentiates that God is present only in the temple and not in the heart of the living entities. He has no understanding like this. In mediocre stage, as Madhyamadhikari, one is little advanced, further advanced. He now understands 4 different principles, as Prabhupada is explaining here. The neophyte does not understand the techniques of devotional service, but simply offers devotional service to the deity in the temple. So neophyte understanding is God is present only in the temple. The intermediate devotee understands the Supreme Lord, he understands the devotees, he understands innocent people, and he understands non-devotees. And he behaves differently with different people. Say for example, neophyte devotee, he may be very proud of his devotional service, and he does not know how to behave with other living entities practically, because he does not understand that the Supreme Lord is present in everyone's heart, just like he is present in the temple. So he may not behave properly. But intermediate devotee, he behaves properly. But still, he has some discrimination. He understands the Supreme Lord, and he also understands devotees. He also understands innocent people, and accordingly he behaves with them. But still he has discrimination, he avoids non-devotees. You see? But the one who is on the topmost platform of devotional service, the Uttamadhikari devotee of the Lord, does not even discriminate between envious, non-envious, atheist, non-atheist. Rather, he perceives that actually apart from me, everyone else is fortunate enough to be engaged somehow or other in the devotional service of the Lord. Only that discrimination he sees. Otherwise, he does not see any other discrimination. Everyone is engaged apart from me. And he bestows his mercy on every living entity. We find that. Great personalities like Narad Muni, they were able to deliver even the most fallen people. People born in the family of demoniac people. Prahlad Maharaj was born in the family of demoniac. Dhruva Maharaj was very determined to gain something material, and he was purified because of the presence of Narad Muni. Isn't it? So, a pure devotee of the Lord, he does not discriminate. He understands. This is his understanding. Supreme Lord is present in every living entity's heart. But this should not be misunderstood. Just like here it is said, the Supreme Lord is present in everyone's heart and everything is existing on him. Should not be misunderstood to be that if everything is existing on the Supreme Lord, then he does not have his separate existence. This is called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. The Supreme Lord is simultaneously one with the living entity, with his energies, and at the same time he is also different from them. So Prabhupada is quoting from Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada is saying that everyone is existing on the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not mean everyone is also Godhead. Because one may think like this. Isn't it? Everyone is existing on the Supreme Lord. So we will think, so everyone is Supreme Lord. Isn't it? That is not the understanding. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Everything is resting on him, the Supreme Lord, but that does not mean that the Supreme Lord is also everywhere. This mysterious position has to be understood by highly advanced devotees. Prabhupada gives an example, crude example. This is very important to understand. How Krishna is present everywhere. So Prabhupada is giving an example. A king He is existing everywhere through the rules, through the different departments, through the different energies. But personally, he is not existing in every department. But still we cannot say that he is disconnected from all departments. This is very interesting. In purport of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada explains this very nicely. A king heads a government which is but the manifestation of king's energy. So, there is a king and he has his people as a government. He is the head of the government. The different governmental departments are nothing but energies of the king. So there are different departments in the king's government. There is water department, there is education department, there is civil department, there is criminal department. All these departments are governing the whole state. And he is the head of all those departments. So they are all his different energies. And each department is resting on the king's power. It's a fact. If he withdraws his power, they have no power to rule over the people. So they're all existing on the power of king only. But still, this is important. One cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. So don't expect. King is present through his energy in every department. Crude example, we should not expect king to be present personally in every department. So Krishna says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. Very important. What does he say? Maya tatam idam sarvam. By me, this entire universe is pervaded. I am present in the entire universe. But how? See? That is how Prabhupada is explaining. King is present in his whole kingdom through his energy. Don't expect the king to be present personally in every department. So Krishna is also explaining, yes, I am everywhere. How am I everywhere? Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagat. In this whole Jagat I am present. Avyakta murtina. I am present in my avyakta form, impersonal form. And Prabhupada explains something very important. Avyakta means non-manifest, which is not manifest to our eyes. Correct? Does anybody think avyakta means no form? Just because it is not manifest to my eyes. Suppose, let us say for example, the Atma is also not manifest to us. Paramatma is not manifest to us. Does it mean it does not have a form? So Prabhupada is saying, Avyakta also has a form. Brahman also has a form. Impersonal form. Hands, legs, eyes, all these things will not be there. But that is also form. Avyakta murtina. Murtina means form. I am present in my impersonal form. You see? These truths cannot be understood. Otherwise, So, but what happens if somebody is attracted to this impersonal form, then advancement is very difficult. That is the difference. It is also form, impersonal form of the Lord. Correct? We all say God has three aspects. Impersonal form, we say. Personal form of the Lord is his Shyam Sundara form. Impersonal form is the Brahman. Isn't it? But if somebody becomes attached to impersonal form, advancement is very difficult for him. That also Bhagavad Gita says. Kleshodhikarastesham avyakta satta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham deha badbhiravapyate. Because actually we are not accustomed. As spirit soul we have a form, we are not accustomed to non-form. So if somebody becomes attracted to this unmanifested form of the Lord, for him advancement is very difficult. So that also Krishna explains. Now, the form of the Lord is not the form of this material world. Even though the form of the Lord looks like our form. Now that also has to be understood very properly. So, Avyakta has a form, and the Supreme Lord in his original position also has a form, which has two hands, two legs, everything, similar to what we look like. But quality of that form is completely different. That has to be understood. Why these impersonalists fail to understand the form of the Lord? Because they try to compare the form of the Lord with our form. They cannot perceive a form which can look like this form but can be completely of different quality. They cannot perceive. Because my hand, my eyes have limitations. With this eye I cannot see beyond this wall. But imagine if there can be eyes which can see even beyond the wall. That is a different kind of eye. Correct? I have differences. My form is different, your form is different. We have differences in our form. And even in our form, our different parts are also different. They carry out different functions. I cannot see with my hands. If I close my eyes and if I want to see with my hand, I cannot see. I cannot eat with my hand. I have to eat with my mouth. And that is how they fail to understand. They think form means for them limitation. Because our forms are limited. So they fail to understand there can be a form which is unlimited. For them unlimited means no form. So they consider like this. Sky is unlimited, it has no form. Something unlimited means it cannot have form. The moment you say limited, the moment you say form, for them conception is limitation. So you are putting limitation on God. So for them, what do they think? When God comes, He is actually Avyakta. He becomes Vyakta. He takes a material form. That is their misunderstanding. Avajananti mama mudha manushim tanumāśrita param bhavam ajananta. They fail to understand the superior nature of the Lord. When the Lord descends, resembling a human being, and they think he has taken a human-like form. No. We can see that. In Krishna Leela, if you see, the Lord is lying on the lap of the mother. His body is like a small child. But the quality of the body is completely different. Isn't it? With one kick, the Lord killed that Shaktashura. Even as a small child. He pulled out the life of Putana just by sucking out the milk from her breast. That's why Brahma Samhita defines this. It gives a little clue about the form of the Lord. What kind of form it is. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti. Angani yasya sakalendriya. His anga can do the work of all other indriyas. No such difference between the eyes of the Lord, the hands of the Lord. They are all absolute. The Lord can eat through His glances. The non-devotees cannot understand, and the devotees who are not in advanced position cannot explain to people. When non-devotees say you are offering something to the Lord, and once you offer, everything is still lying like this, and you have said, you are saying God has eaten. But Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomad bhakta prayachati tad aham ashnami. Ashnami means Krishna is saying, I accept, I eat that. So how does the Lord eat? Is the Lord telling lies? When He is saying you are offering patram, pushpam, phalam, and I accept. So He eats. How does He eat? Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti. For the Lord there is no difference. Just by seeing, He can eat. And His eating is, He can eat and still it can be full. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Correct? Because they may think, okay, you are saying God has eaten, no? So if God has eaten, why is it still full? Okay, you may say God has eaten through His eyes, but at least it should become reduced. No. God eating is also like that Purna. He can eat and it can be, everything can be still there. That is the quality of spiritual. Prabhupada gives that example. You know, once one student who was very poor, when he wanted to gift his spiritual master something, so he gifted a special bowl in which there was a curds. So the spiritual master said, this is what you could give me, and he just put it down. And the curd fell from it, and still that bowl was filled with curd. Again he put it down, again it was filled with curd. So that is the meaning of spirit. It is absolute. 1 minus 1 in the spiritual world is, it can be 1. In the material world, if you take out something, it becomes less. But all this universes, everything, the whole thing has emanated from the Lord. He is still Purna. That is the meaning of absolute. That is how now we can conceive what is the meaning of the form of the Lord. Form of the Lord is not ordinary like our form, but He has a form. And that is why we also have a form, being His part and parcel. So, these things are very nicely explained, and as Prabhupada is saying, when we advance in our devotional service, when we come to the point of Uttama Bhakti of the Lord, then all these truths will become revealed to us. At that point, we will be able to understand this special understanding of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. How the Supreme Lord is simultaneously one and different from all His energies. So we'll stop with this. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की